had never seen Sarah look at me that way before, not with fire in her eyes and ice in her voice, all at once. The words cut through the quiet of our living room like a sharpened knife. "Fine," she said, slamming her hand on the edge of the kitchen counter. "Then I guess you'll sleep on the couch tonight. Maybe that'll teach you a lesson." I froze, my mug of cold coffee trembling in my hands. Sleep on the couch. The casual cruelty in her tone was almost comical, if it weren't so terrifyingly serious. I knew her. I thought I did. Sarah had been my partner, my confidant, my wife for 8 years. We had built a life together. A house, a routine, a rhythm. But in that moment, staring at her perfectly poised posture, the sharp tilt of her jaw, I realized I didn't know her at all. I put the mug down slowly, careful not to let my hands betray the storm raging inside me. I wanted to snap, to yell, to match her fury with my own. But something told me that tonight words needed to be precise. I couldn't afford the luxury of anger. Not yet. "Sleep on the couch?" I asked, my voice unnervingly calm. "Is that really all this is about?" Her nostrils flared. "Don't play dumb with me, Michael. You know what I'm talking about." I swallowed hard, my mind racing back through the last few weeks, trying to pinpoint when this fissure had started. Sarah had been distant, her smiles mechanical, her laughter delayed, like it belonged to someone else. I had chalked it up to work stress, exhaustion, maybe even midlife restlessness. I had been wrong. She took a step closer, her hand raised, not to hit me but as if to emphasize her words, and in that motion, I noticed something I should have seen long ago. The ring on her finger, perfectly intact, gleaming in the overhead light. It was supposed to be a symbol of unity, of trust. But tonight, it looked like a mocking reminder of all the promises she had already broken. "I'm serious, Michael. You think you can just ignore me, brush off the signs? You've been..." Her voice faltered. She bit her lip, her composure threatening to crack. "You've been reckless." The word reckless hung between us, and for a moment I didn't speak. Because in that pause I realized something else. The truth wasn't going to come in declarations or accusations. Had to see it. Had to know it. "Sarah," I said softly, "tell me. Right now. Just tell me." Her eyes darted to the floor, then to the couch, as if the furniture itself could shield her. The tension was unbearable. I could hear my own heartbeat, slow and deafening in my ears. I didn't want you to find out like this," she whispered finally, almost inaudible. "I didn't mean for it to happen. But..." I felt my stomach drop, the room tilting sideways. The words she refused to say danced around us, taunting me. "Sarah," I pressed, my voice cracking now. "What are you saying?" Her shoulders slumped, her mask of control dissolving. I've been seeing someone else," she admitted, the words spilling out like a confession after months of guilt. "It's been months. I didn't know how to stop it. And then last week when we had that argument I realized I didn't care enough to stop it. I'm sorry." For a long moment, nothing existed but the sound of her breathing and the faint hum of the refrigerator. The betrayal felt physical, like a heavy weight pressing against my chest, making each inhale painful. My vision blurred. I wanted to shake her, to scream, to make the world right again, but all I could do was stand there, trembling. I see." I finally managed, my voice hollow. "You're punishing me with the couch." She flinched. "It wasn't supposed to be like this. I don't know. I wanted you to feel the pain." I interrupted, my tone cold now, sharper than I intended. "You wanted to punish me for what exactly? For being loyal? For loving you?" Her eyes filled with tears, but they did nothing to soften the jagged edges of the truth. I was unhappy. And it wasn't your fault. I wanted more. More," I repeated, incredulous. "You wanted more outside the marriage instead of talking to me?" My chest heaved with a mix of fury and sorrow. "Do you even know what you've done?" She shook her head, her tears falling freely now. I know it's wrong. I never meant for you to find out like this. I thought I could fix it. I thought I could. But I couldn't hear the rest. Because in that moment, I realized something crucial. She wasn't going to stop. She didn't want to stop. She had already made her choice. I walked to the window and stared out into the night. The streetlights cast long, harsh shadows across our living room. I could almost hear the laughter of our neighbors, the mundane normalcy of a life that was now completely foreign to me. And then I turned, slowly, deliberately, my gaze locking onto hers. "You want me to sleep on the couch?" I said quietly. "Fine." Her face lit up briefly, a spark of satisfaction. She leaned back, thinking she had won some small victory, some control over me. I walked past her, my movements deliberate, and grabbed the keys from the counter. "Michael, what are you?" "I'll be back," I said, my voice eerily calm. "I'm going to stay with a friend for a while." "You enjoy your victory, Sarah." "I'll sleep on the couch of someone who still respects me." She froze, disbelief etched into every line of her face. The words hit her like a cold wave. She opened her mouth to argue, to yell, to beg, but nothing came out. And that's when I saw it, the first crack in the armor she had been wearing for months. The confidence, the bravado, the cruelty, they all faltered under the weight of reality. I didn't slam the door. I didn't shout. I just walked out. Step by step, I felt the weight lift from my shoulders. The betrayal didn't hurt any less, but the fear, the helplessness, the feeling of being trapped, it began to ease. Outside, the air was crisp, almost antiseptic, cutting through the fog of anger and sorrow in my mind. I slid into my car, my hands still shaking, and drove without a destination. For the first time in months, maybe years, I wasn't pretending anymore. I wasn't ignoring the cracks in our marriage, the deceit, the lies. I was finally facing them head-on. I didn't know what the future held. I didn't know if I would forgive her, if we could ever rebuild the trust that had been shattered like glass. But for the first time that night, I felt a strange, bitter clarity. I didn't need to play her games anymore. I realized then that some punishments weren't meant for me. They were meant for her. The guilt she carried, the fear of exposure, the hollow victories that couldn't fill the emptiness inside. And in that silence, in the quiet aftermath of revelation, I understood something vital. I still had myself. And that was enough to start over. Sarah never texted or called that night. I didn't reply either. The silence between us became a chasm, wide and unbridgeable. But for once I didn't feel small. I didn't feel powerless. Felt alive. And as I drove through the empty streets, the city lights flickering against the windshield, I knew one thing with unwavering certainty. The game was over. And I had won, not because she lost but because I refused to play.